Yeah, go ahead.
Oop.
There's a ring.
Left key. Go ahead.
Okay. Good evening and welcome to the North Georgia GMRS Regional Net. Tonight we are live from Studio Vanguard and we are linked in with the following repeaters.
McDonough, Flagship, Watkinsville, Rome, Toccoa, Jersey, Zebulon, Lula, Columbus, Noonan, Dallas, Salicoa, Ocala, Florida, Lookout Mountain, Cades Cove, Chattanooga 700, Mount Roosevelt, Fort Mountain, White Oak Mountain, Georgetown, Ottawa, and of course our VoIP service, Zello.
Tonight, our RF coverage encompasses approximately 26,240,000 acres. This net takes place every Thursday evening at 7:30 p.m. I would like to thank everyone who has made the North Georgia GMRS the most expansive and active GMRS network in the country. Your net control tonight is Atlanta 947, WQIR 514. My name is Julie.
Atlanta 946. WQIR 514. My name is Justin.
Blue Ridge 63, WRWM 344. My name is Mike.
And Atlanta 750, WRMR 367. My name is Jeff.
On the net, you can talk about your day's activities, radio equipment, or anything you think we would like to hear. This is a family-based network, so we encourage you to get your family involved. Guest check-ins are welcome from anyone with a valid FCC call sign. Once the floor is open, it's permissible to address other members of the net by their name or tactical unit number. Your FCC call sign is only required when you sign in and when you sign out of the net. Also, you can tune into our YouTube channel and follow along. Or even better, tune in after the net to watch your appearance on the network and hear how you sound to us right here in Studio Vanguard. Be sure to like and subscribe and leave a comment so that we know you're watching. These interactions mean the most to help our new channel grow. What's the topic this week, guys?
I think we're talking about Go boxes, portable radios, Manpacks. What was the other thing?
Ammo cans.
Ammo cans, that's right. Give me back my bullets.
All right. Well, let's find out what's going on with Kate tonight.
This is WRMR 367, Atlanta 751, Kate from high atop Mount Bolesky, live in Studio C with this week's Catch Up with Kate. Regional lunch gatherings are an opportunity to meet with like-minded North Georgia GMRS Network members. It's a great way to meet new friends and associate a face with a voice for many who would talk with over the air. These events are arranged by various members and cover a large portion of our network. If there's not a gathering near you, there could be. Anyone can find a place to meet and host a local gathering. The West Side folks will gather for lunch at 11 a.m. at Taco Mac in Marietta on July 6th. That address is 2650 Dallas Highway, Suite 110. Be sure to email rabbithole@nggmrs.org to RSVP so they can make sure you have a seat with the group. There will be no Thursday Regional Net next week as we will all be celebrating the 4th of July. We look forward to catching up with everyone once again on Thursday, July 11th. From all of us at North Georgia GMRS Network, we wish everyone a safe and enjoyable holiday. The next Skywarn Training Net will be on Tuesday, July 2nd. Please have your computer handy so you can follow along with the free training material. For questions about the Skywarn Training Nets, please reach out to Chat69 Ronnie. Let me break. The second Little Miss Radio Net will air on Monday, July 1st. Please join Jennifer, Atlanta 255, to discuss your plans to celebrate the 4th of July. We're looking forward to a dynamite discussion and hope all of the ladies of North Georgia GMRS Network turn out to join in on the fun and community that this network has become. That's right around the corner. Mark your calendars, ladies. The North Georgia GMRS Network is happy to announce we will be working with the Pickens County Sheriff's Department again this year for the annual Sheriff's Jeep Fest. The event starts Thursday, August 29th with the night ride and ends on Sunday, September 1st. North Georgia GMRS will be assisting with the communications for the duration of the event. We are looking for volunteers who have Jeeps with GMRS radios to assist with reporting trail conditions throughout the weekend. We also have a need for non-Jeep volunteers for help with various tasks around the grounds, such as working the information booth. If you can help with the event, please email jeepfest@nggmrs.org. Many hands make for light work, so the more volunteers we have, the better. We hear a lot of comments from folks that they liked hearing about trail conditions, but they didn't want to tie up the channel to report things. There's a lot of time between reports, and that is the perfect time to call Net Control and tell us how your trail ride went. From dry trails and easy conditions to wet and wild. If you don't tell us about it, we can't share that information with others. Trail conditions change a lot over the course of the weekend, and we'd like to make the best reports we can, but we can only do that when you call in and report what you see. Let me break. Be sure to tune in Friday night for the Friday at 9 Simplex Challenge. This Friday, there will be a roundtable discussion on emergency comms and your radio plan. Early check-ins will start at 8 p.m. on the ball ground repeater. If you have any questions, please reach out to Dana, Atlanta 250, or Jonathan, Gainesville 58. That's all the salt in the salt shaker. If you have any questions, suggestions, or spicy announcements for us to catch up on, please send me a note at kate@nggmrs.org. And please try to have them in by Tuesday at noon so that we have time to prepare to get your announcement on the air. We are North Georgia GMRS Network. This is WRMR 367, Atlanta 751. My name is Kate, and now back to Net Control.
Well, thank you for all of that, Kate. Good to know that that's all the salt in the shaker. I like that.
Actually, I think there's more salt in the shaker. She forgot to catch herself up on. We've got these lovely T-shirts that are behind us here.
So, yeah, if for those of you that don't know, go to the North Georgia GMRS webpage and check out the merch store. We've got some brand new items in the store. As it turns out, they were delivered today after the Catch Up with Kate was produced. So these are the brand new items. This hat is on the merch store, and believe, are we doing this, Jeff? Are they going to get a sticker?
He can get stickers at the event.
You get stickers at the event. All right, so stickers will be at the event. Well, that's what they are. So there you go. What do we have for tips this week, Julie?
All right. Well, this is WQIR 514 Atlanta 947. Julie, with this week's new user tips and operating procedures segment. And this week, we're going to talk about Part 95 FCC rules. So there's many poorly informed sources out there that would like us to believe that only Part 95 radios can be used in GMRS service. However, this is only part of the truth. A lot of confusion stems from the rule revisions that came about in 2017. Those rules changes were made in part to limit the improper use of radios and improper marketing of radios for use in GMRS. The rule also clarified limitations for FRS radios and made clear the 2-watt rule for unlicensed FRS operation. If you hear unlicensed users on GMRS frequencies, they're probably nearby FRS users, so don't panic. A careful read through the rules will reveal under Part 95.1761, Subpart C, that no GMRS transmitter will be certified for use in GMRS if it is equipped with a frequency capability not listed in 95.1763, unless such transmitter is also certified for use in another radio service for which the frequency is authorized and for which certification is also required, i.e., Part 90. But don't just take someone's word for it. Research this yourself. The rules are published online, and there are links to the rules from our website. Be informed so that when you encounter someone less informed, you can be confident in your knowledge of the rules. Let me break. The predecessor to GMRS was named Class A Citizens Radio Service when it was commissioned in the 1960s. Sometime later, the UHF 450 to 470 megahertz band was reallocated to 25 kilohertz channels, and in the 70s, Class A Citizens band became General Mobile Radio Service, GMRS as we now know it. Since GMRS lives right in the middle of 450 to 470 commercial band, we enjoy the benefits of commercial radios being readily available. But in the 70s, consider what GMRS radio was. Very few Part 95 radios were available. However, Part 90 radios for commercial service were very common. In fact, until recently, there were very few Part 95 radios on the market, and very few repeaters were Part 95. Today, there are many Part 95 options, but Part 90 radios were and are commonly used in GMRS radio service. Also consider, the core of the rules for GMRS radio was written in the 60s. A few changes have happened along the way, but one rule that pretty much remains is the rule that prohibits connection with a telephone network. This basically means that a phone patch is prohibited. Part 95.1745 expressly allows GMRS repeater, base, and fixed stations may be operated by remote control. North Georgia GMRS Network operates in plain view, and we hide nothing from the FCC. If there was a rule violation, the FCC would have been in contact with us long ago. Have confidence that North Georgia GMRS operates in accordance with all FCC rules and regulations, and we expect our members to do as well. These are just a few of the new user tips and operating procedures. I hope you'll tune in next week for my next episode of Julie's Tips and Operating Procedures. And if you have any questions or suggestions, send me a note at Julie at It's Julie at NGGMRS.org. We are North Georgia GMRS Network, and this is WQIR 514 Atlanta 947, and I'm clear.
Man, this place is just falling apart. The banners falling down, shirts falling from off the walls. Yeah. But, all right, well, good stuff, Julie. And thanks for that review of those Part 95 rules. And in light of some recent developments, I know that there's been a lot of concern as to whether linking is legal, and well, being one of the largest GMRS networks in the country, I think that if the FCC had something to say about linking, we would be an example they could set. So the fact that they've had nothing to say is, I think, all the evidence that we need that what we're doing is perfectly acceptable, and as mentioned, we're not hiding anything from anyone, and we're in a very high-profile area. There's a large FCC presence in the Atlanta region, so I think we can have confidence that all is well with the linked network and with North Georgia GMRS. So all of the concerns and questions that folks have had with regard to linking issues that other networks have had, trust that those issues are related to the method that was used in linking, and the method was improper. So in a nutshell, we're good. So all right, this week we're going to be talking about ammo cans and Manpacks and go boxes and portable radio rigs. So that's our subject matter for the week. But before we jump into that, we should probably by the way,
talk into the microphone so people can hear you.
By the way, check out the hat. Before we jump into that, we should probably see if we have any additional check-ins. Let's go to the Zello field first. Anyone wishing to check in using Zello only, please call Net Control.
Okay. Good night.
Hey, would you bring me a soda?
This is WRDX 441, Atlanta 419, Jason incoming.
WRMA 965, Atlanta 964, Richard, Mobile, and Norcross. This is Atlanta 810, WRNQ863, John in Dawsonville, checking in and out this evening, and by way of relay, Atlanta 811. WRNQ863, Victoria, checking in and out this evening, as well as
WRNQ863, John in Dawson, Little John in Dawsonville, checking out.
Atlanta 810 and a half, Little John, checking in and out, and Atlanta 810, Thomas, checking in and out. Have a great night, everybody.
This is Noonan 345, WSCC 345, Tim in Illinois. I'll be in and out tonight.
Did you say in?
I didn't hear it. My attention.
With a copy like that, he's going to be in and out.
Okay.
This is WROV 544, Atlanta 1140, Troy and Covington on the Jersey repeater, checking in and out.
Didn't realize we'd gone to RF check-ins.
I didn't realize that either.
It's two of them right there.
Yeah.
This is Noonan 120, WRZL 542, Carmine on Noonan repeater in Fayetteville. Checking in.
Who is that?
It's Carmine.
This is Columbus 25, Peter. WFCC 901. Checking in and checking out.
All right, let me go ahead and acknowledge this round of check-ins. We have... Oh, that's why I'm confused. We have we have Atlanta 355 Damon in Canton as a YouTube check-in. We have Atlanta 420 William in Roswell, also a YouTube check-in. We have a guest check-in from WRZY 3112 Ron in Locust Grove as a YouTube check-in. We have Chattanooga 69 Ronnie in Las Vegas is a YouTube check-in. And we have a brand new YouTube check-in from Atlanta 60, Gary in Noonan.
New member.
A new member?
Yeah.
Yes. He says he's the new guy.
The new guy. All right. And we have WRWB 802 Larry in Colorado as a YouTube check-in. And we have Rome 27 Terry in Menlo is also a YouTube check-in. And that'll bring us to some RF check-ins. We have, these are Zello check-ins. We have Atlanta 419 Jason incoming is in with us this evening, as well as Atlanta 964 Richard in Duluth is in tonight. We heard Atlanta 810 John in Dawsonville. And by way of relay, Atlanta 811 Victoria, also in Dawsonville. And we heard an in-person check-in from Atlanta 810.5 John, Little John in Dawsonville. And also by way of relay, we heard Atlanta 810. For now, we're going to call him decimal 6, Thomas in Dawsonville. We have to work out the decimal fraction conversion there. We're not quite sure how that works yet, but John's a pretty smart guy. He'll figure it out. Also, we heard Noonan 345. Tim in Sonoya is in and out. Atlanta 1140 Troy in Covington in and out. Noonan 120 Carmine in Fayetteville is in tonight. We have Cades Cove 70 Dwight in Tallahassee. I almost said that wrong. Is a YouTube check-in. Also, we had Columbus 25 Peter in West Point is in and out tonight. And two more YouTube check-ins. We have WRZG964. Rick is a guest check-in from right here in Woodstock on YouTube. And we have Blue Ridge 64 Melissa from Blue Ridge, also a YouTube check-in. Those are the check-ins we have at this time. We're going to continue with check-ins from any repeater anywhere, including the flagship machine. Net control, standing by.
This is WRYJ 838, Roan 11, Bob in Kingston, Tennessee, checking in and out.
Thank you. We'll see in and out. You were talking when I...
This is WRQZ 941, Rome 12, Mark in Rome, checking in and out. This is WRTI 560, Atlanta 589, Don in Kennesaw. Take me in and out.
This is Atlanta 170, WSAR 344, Dalton in Cartersville, checking in and out.
Leave me 2 spaces, I'll get these YouTubes for you.
Okay, thank you.
This is. Good evening, Net Control. This is WRNW 488, Atlanta 532, Tom in Flowery Branch. I will be checking in and checking out this evening. Have a great net, everybody.
This is WRWD 532, Chattanooga 96.
White Oak Mountain.
Jeff and
I
Toddy
got the
Daisy.
fader
checking
pegged
in
and we're still
checking
doing
out.
This is WRUX 298, Atlanta 943, Jim in Monroe on the Jersey repeater, checking in.
This is WSCB 952, Noonan 483, Randy, checking in and out.
This is WSAL 368, Atlanta 263, Rogers in Dunwoody, checking in and checking out.
This is WRYK 216, Chattanooga 49, Robert from Dalton, Georgia, on the flagship machine, checking in, checking out.
Roosevelt 83.
I got it.
You got it?
Yeah.
This is WRWX 300, Atlanta 120, checking in and checking out. This is
I think Chuck's is.
This is WQUV 439, Atlanta 780, Houston, Austell, on flagship, checking in.
This is Atlanta 255, WFAN 586. Checking in, checking out, but I'll be monitoring.
This is SAW 774, Chat 89, checking in and out for the first time.
Good little run we've been on there. Kept my fingers busy.
All right, let's go ahead and acknowledge this round of check-ins. Let's see if I can figure out where I'm at in the list. So it looks like we have Roosevelt 11 Bob in Kingston is in and out. We have Rome 12 Mark in Rome is in and out. We have Roosevelt 81 Renee in Rockwood is a YouTube check-in. We have Atlanta 589 Don in Kennesaw is in and out. Atlanta 170 Dalton in Cartersville is in and out. We have guest check-in from WSCT 633 Tom in Toccoa is a YouTube check-in. And we have WSAC 928 Chase in Jasper County is a YouTube check-in. Atlanta 532 Tom in Flowery Branch is in and out. Atlanta 943 Jim in Monroe is in with us tonight. Atlanta 483 Randy in Sonoa is in and out. Roosevelt 83 Bill in Rockwood is a YouTube check-in tonight. Atlanta 263 Rogers in Dunwoody is in and out. Atlanta 256 Decimal 1 Holly is a YouTube check-in tonight. Chattanooga 49 Robert in Dalton in and out. Atlanta 120 Jason in Marietta is in and out. Atlanta 780 Houston in Austell is in with us tonight. McDonough 30 William in Hampton, Georgia is a YouTube check-in tonight. Atlanta 255 Jennifer in Dawsonville is in and out. Chattanooga 89 Jimmy in Dunlap is in and out. And we have another YouTube check-in from Atlanta 307 Jonathan in Cumming YouTube check-in. Those are the check-ins we have at this time. We'll be taking one last round of check-ins as we get to the end of the program, but for now, we're going to kick things into gear with a conversation about ammo cans, go boxes, and Manpacks. Is that like a radio and a fanny pack? What is a Manpack?
I think that's right.
You think that's right?
Yeah.
I think
put it in a fanny pack. The antenna goes up your back.
Right. Yeah. Well, I think there might be some backpack varieties of radios too.
Yeah.
You know, some place to put the battery and maybe a larger radio than you might carry as an HT.
Yeah, a lot of folks will put a mobile, a 25 or a 50 watt.
Hiking up the mountain, throw an antenna in a tree, and activate at a summit somewhere.
Yes.
Yeah. So lots of portable options. I have all of the materials and none of the time, but I've got a bracket to mount on the side of a jumpstart box.
Ah.
So it's not an ammo can. It's not a go box. I figured I would call it the ammo cant.
It's good.
Yeah. But that's my intention, is to mount an 880 on the side of a jumpstart box that I don't use for jumpstarts anymore. And I think that would serve well to operate a radio for portable operations for a period of time, and convenient to be able to just plug that thing into the wall and charge it right back up again. Let me break. And there are some commercial options for you can just order the kit. You don't have to put it together. You can just go online and you can order a pre-configured ammo can radio package that includes all of the gazintas and the gozadas and pieces and parts already pre-assembled, which makes it pretty much plug and play. That's one option. Or you can go the other option and you can go to a swap meet and find some old surplus ammunition cans. You can find them at Army surplus stores. I like the metal ones. They can be very, very tight when they're closed up, so it makes them great for keeping moisture out, keeping varmints, bugs, stuff like that from getting in. So it might be a good option too, these old Army surplus ammo cans, for keeping your Mylar packaged freeze-dried food in and stuff like that, because they do make a nice tight seal. But yeah, the ammo can do-it-yourself option. You can buy the life Life Pro batteries. You can buy lithium-ion batteries. You can buy a number of different power sources to incorporate into that. There are DC to DC buck converters that will make sure that the radio sees the correct voltage that you can place between the battery and the radio. So if you're going to use things like, say you want to use some 20-volt Max, DeWalt Max batteries or the Milwaukee portable tool batteries, and the voltage is a little bit higher than what you really want to put on a mobile radio, you can use a buck converter to stabilize that voltage at the correct 13.9. And so there's a lot of choices in terms of how we're going to power these radios, for portable operations. And I think that getting one of those, you can order them online. The shoe that the DeWalt battery will fit into.
Oh yeah.
And it's already got the pins and stuff on it. It's got a couple of leads. You could mount that like even to the outside of the ammo can, and be able to quickly change batteries as you need to in
That's
operation. And that way you're not having to pull stuff out of the box. And so I think there's lots of options and lots of opportunities to customize and make an ammo can or a portable radio rig your very own for your application and your purpose. So that's our topic for discussion this evening. Mike, did you have anything you want to add to any of that?
No, I'm looking forward to hearing. I know we have several members who have built these Manpacks or Go boxes. There's a bunch of names for them, and hopefully some of them will share tonight their experience building those and then how they use them.
I think, in my mind, the most interesting part of portable operation is the antenna. So, if it's a mobile install on a vehicle, the antenna is easy. You just stick it on a car someplace. You either NMO mount it to the roof of the car, you get a lip mount and attach it to the hood. Somebody even mentioned a trailer hitch antenna mount.
I saw that on Facebook this week, yeah.
Now, back in the day of CB, there were, I think it was 102 inches. You have a nice 9 foot long.
8.5, yeah.
Steel whip with a big old spring typically on the bottom of it. Some folks would have that thing tied down to their mirror, arched over, and that's kind of cool. But the frequencies that we're playing in, that's going to be, I don't know, what would that be like a it's more than a full wave. It's like a wave and a half at 102 inches.
It's more than that. Our wavelength is about 18 inches.
So
it'd be about 5 wavelengths.
It's probably not going to radiate well, but and I saw somebody else point out that probably you want to mount your antenna as high as you could on a vehicle. So, and that's valid. Height is might. Let me break. And I can't tell you how many times Julie and I are walking around the high school campus listening to the Rabbit Hole Net or any other program. And as we're walking around, I'm walking around with the HT up over my head because I'm just trying to get, there's places around the campus where the signal will wash all the way out. I can't really even transmit from there, but I can usually monitor. But an HT walking around doesn't really play real well. So it can be challenging sometimes in that scenario. We always try to work it out so that we can check in from the vehicle and then go listen as we walk the dogs. And if we check in and out, then that works out well. We can get on the air with a good radio and monitor with the flashlight radio.
What's a radio that doesn't have a flashlight?
Well, I mean, that way you can. Oh, never mind. All right.
We should go to the top of the log.
Let's go to the top of the log. You want to start us off?
Yeah, sure. We've got a few in and outs. Chattanooga 19, Jack in Chattanooga was in and out tonight. Chattanooga 160, David from a remote location in Florida. Checking in on Zello was in and out. Atlanta 1402, Todd from the Sugar Watering Hole was in and out. And that'll bring us to Dallas 20, David working the night shift in Montgomery. David, do you have any questions or comments for the net tonight regarding portable radios, Manpack radios, Go boxes, ammo cans, anything in that whole category, right?
You know it would be great for the night shift?
What's that?
One of these North Georgia GMRS hats.
Oh, that's a great point.
Yeah. David, you're going to have to go to the North Georgia GMRS webpage and check out the store right there at the top of the page. Check out the merch store and scope out all the brand new merchandise that's on that page, including one of these hats or the shirts that are behind us. Can they? Yeah, they can barely see one of them. You have to take the Julie shot to be able to show the shirts. That's not the Julie shot.
It's over your shoulder too. One's over Mike's and one's over yours.
Yeah, you can barely see them. All right. So anyway, there they are, and be sure and go to the webpage and grab a brand new shirt just in time for the 4th of July.
Has David seen the new rabbit hole shirts?
Yep. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe he's still in the rabbit hole. David, tell us what you think.
Good evening, guys. Yes, sir, I have seen the new shirts, and they look absolutely amazing and already have our order in. So they did a great job on those. I don't think they'll stay in stock long. So if you've seen them, you like them, you better get them now. Go boxes. Yeah, I mean, I've got some stuff I'm fixing to put together for one. I actually went to Arbor Freight and got one of the Apache boxes. You know, it's a knockoff Pelican box, but it works great. The only debate I've got right now is to drill the ports in the side of it to where it can be, you know, closed if needed, or keep the box intact and just open the box and run the cables across the top of it. So that's the only debate I've got going right now. And what I did plan on doing was not having the batteries in that box, have an actual power supply. That way, if I wanted to take it out to a deck area or a lounge, a part that does have power, you can plug it in and have a separate battery box so I can plug that in and run it off of there.
Very nice. You know, the debate over whether or not to drill the holes is that's a constant thing. I mean, so there's advantages here to make it more portable and a faster, cleaner setup, so that if you drill the hole and mount the end connector with a flange mount in the case, so you can mount that in a way that seals it back up, so you don't lose that sealed performance of the case. So that's doable, but at the same time, you know, do we really have to go through all that? Because if you're going to be operating the radio, is the case not going to be open? I think the case is going to be open to operate the radio. And if the case is open, then is it that big of a deal to have a couple of wires draped over the lip of the case?
Or have your connector on a panel on the inside.
So, and you could do that on the inside too and not have to drill. And that way it'd be a quick disconnect so that you could rapidly close the case up and then put your power supply maybe in a different case and rapidly close that up as well. So lots of options, and you know, that's the beauty of a DIY project, is all of those options are yours to sort out and make it work in your environment and in your application. So if you've got ready access to power and you don't need batteries, power supply is really a good idea. And you know, for most of the stuff that I do, power supply would be a good option as opposed to keeping batteries charged, because that's something that I always have a challenge with, is keeping batteries charged up and ready to go. But good stuff, David. Did you have anything else? Did I miss anything?
No, sir, that sounds about right, and that is, it's almost a coin toss of what you want to do. But, like everyone else, if you've got enough radios and enough stuff, why not have both? Make one that's sealed and one that's got all the cool little ports on it. So that's probably the route I'm going to go. But y'all have a good night. We'll talk to you soon.
All right. You know, I've heard David comment, you know, in as to the philosophy of, one is none, but two is one.
Two is one.
So having some redundancy. So I can very much see David building 2 rigs so that, he can play out both options.
Yep.
And so he's going to have. At some point, we'll be over there. And we'll be looking in his garage, and there'll be a row of Apache cases.
It won't be 2. It'll be 4 or 5 or
right.
7.
Right, because 2 is 1, and 1's never enough.
Right.
So does that mean he has to have 3 to have 2? At some point,
think so.
Does the math ever catch up? If you've got 7, how many do you have? Do you have 6 or do you have 7?
I think you have at least 6.
Or is it just
because the whole philosophy is if one fails, you've got redundancy.
Yeah. So what do you think, Jeff? You're about to say something?
If you got 7 and 2 is 1, does that mean you only have 3.5?
3.5 seems like.
Ooh, that's a lot of math.
Yeah, I don't know.
I didn't even have to break a calculator out for that one.
So 3.5 might be the answer. We'll have to check into the next rabbit hole net to find out for sure. So good stuff, David. All right, with that, we're going to continue on. Where are we at, Mike?
Next in the log, we have Gainesville 5/8. Jonathan in Gainesville, or in Oakwood, was in and out. Roosevelt 80. Eric in Rockwood was in and out. Chattanooga 162. Larry in Chattanooga in and out tonight. Gainesville 417. William in Auburn was in and out. Next we heard CW33. Tom in Bogart. He was in and out tonight, and that'll bring us to Toccoa 33. Matthew in Pickens, South Carolina. Matthew, we'll go to you for any questions or comments you have on portable radios, Manpacks, and ammo cans.
He may have been in and out.
We will show him as such. All right, we're going to go ahead and show Matthew as in and out, and we'll keep moving along. Next we heard Rome 90, Thomas in Cave Springs, in and out tonight. And Atlanta 256, Chuck in Dawsonville, was also in and out. He had something he was watching on TV, but he's also watching us on YouTube. So shout out to Atlanta 256 on YouTube. Next we heard Atlanta 403. Bobby at the Vortex is in with us tonight. Bobby, what questions or comments do you have for the net regarding portable radios? Portable radios, portable comms?
Good thing you called on me. I was about to tell you, we keep getting lost the flagship on this side. It's intermittent. It'll come and go. We're on Toccoa right now. But anyway, my portable radio thing was from many years ago with my CERN group, and I used to set up an old Uniden radio off a jumper pack, like Justin said, and Browning BR6140 antenna above the little pop-up tent. And that was pretty much our portable communications. And anything beyond that, I'm using my truck or using a handheld. Yeah, I never really looked into doing those ammo cans or any of those portable setups beyond that.
That was a jumper pack like yours, I think.
Yeah, and I think that just having those things ready to assemble and ready to go is a valuable thing. I'm still on the fence about what I'm going to do for an antenna. So I've got a number of thoughts, and so my thought is for portable operations, maybe I don't want a conventional antenna. Maybe what I want is something that's more like a piece of not terribly long coax and some sort of a wire or a wire type J-pole that I could maybe attach to some paracord and pretty easily get that up into a tree and be able to operate that way. It's not very often that there aren't some trees or something around that you can elevate. And, you know, if you do get into a situation where you're going to be maybe operating in some big parking lot or something and there's not going to be any trees, you could always take along a different antenna. But, I mean, if you're going to be in a big parking lot, won't you have your vehicle there? Probably it has a radio.
Probably.
So, I mean, it's when you leave the parking lot that we're talking about, and you need to get out into the field someplace, in the woods or in the yard, in whatever adventures you're having. If you're setting up a campsite and you want to have a base station at camp so that you can... Uh-oh. Place is falling apart around us. So that you can...
it's that cheap Velcro you buy.
It is that cheap Velcro. Actually, it's not cheap. Those are command strips. But in any case...
You know, a good option for a mast, portable mast, is those painter's poles, the push-up painter poles.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
You can get those 16 feet long. I think the one I've got is 11 or 12. Fit in the bed of a truck. So to your point about camping, if you're out and about, it makes for an easy push-up mast.
Yeah, a couple of bungee cords, and you can tie that thing off on just about anything.
Right.
And be able to have a reasonable mast. And you could have a radio station set up and operating at base camp in minutes, and be able to to walk off into the park or into the forest or into the whatever, and be able to communicate with your group and other groups that are in that area. So that's a great application for that kind of a radio. And so that's, in my mind, that's the big variable is what antenna I'm going to use. It would like it to be something you could stuff in the box and be able to pull out and deploy quickly. So good stuff, Bobby. Did you have anything else?
Not really, Justin. That was pretty much it. Yeah, I really didn't get too much more into the, like I said, researching that stuff. I saw how much those ammo cam radio setups were years ago, and the price has only gotten higher, so I'm pretty satisfied with whatever mobile stuff I can whip together out of pieces parts.
Yeah, well, those pre-made ammo cans are they're pretty cool, and it's what's slick about that is it's plug and play. It's ready to go right out of the box. You charge the battery, and you're ready to play on a radio. I really like the DIY approach because, you know, you can make it your own. You can cut a little wooden panel to fit in there to make everything fit and look neat and nice. You can purchase those little LED voltmeter displays. You can purchase those little deals that fit into a cigarette lighter cutout. You know, you can pop those things in and have some USB charging sockets or some of those Anderson power pole kind of connectors that you can bring power into the box or even utilize power from the battery that's in the box to charge other things. There's just a million ways that you can make it very custom and very much your own, and fit your specific use and application. So that's the thing I love about the DIY approach, and there's no limits.
You can use whatever radio you want.
You're right. You're not limited to what radios they allow you to use. You can
wait
buy.
a minute. Wait, by that definition, we're operating in a Go box right now.
Well, we really kind of are.
That's true. It does have wheels.
Yeah. We did try to enter this in the Go Box competition, but they looked at us sideways and told us to go away. So, but didn't we win? We won a Go Box competition, didn't we, Jeff? Do you want to talk about that?
No, I don't. Thanks for asking. Who's next on the list?
That's all the time we have for that. I think Jeff's dying to talk about that Go Box competition. Who's next?
Next in the log is Atlanta 250, Dana from Dahlonega, who we have marked as in tonight. I think he tried to check in and out.
I don't know why he does that.
I don't either.
Yeah.
Let's,
Dana, what have you got for us tonight?
Let's see what he's got.
Well, first and foremost, good evening to everybody there at Vanguard and the ladies especially.
I'm looking at it this way. I have a Go box, but it's not in the traditional sense. Mine does consist of a large Apache box and 3 HTs, all with solar chargers and such. But it's not to go, because I'm making my stand, if it hits the fan or what have you, right here from, we're in a cabin in the woods. Let me break. So the Go box is actually for the plan that I have with the neighbors. And each of the key neighbors will get one of these HTs, and we can communicate, because we have full intentions on, if the situation is severe enough, to block off our road and allow entry to only those who live on there. It's the only way to securely and truly protect. Let me break. So, it's 3 HTs, solar chargers for each of them, all the USB cords that need to go, with the solar charging systems. All 3 of them have shoulder mics to go with it. So that is my Go box. Other than that, I have no intentions of going. So back to you.
Quite the setup.
Yes, that's very good. And having a plan is an important part of your communications. It's something that they talk about on Rabbit Hole is having that plan. So that's what. But also you talk about all the HTs and the Go box and etc. One important aspect to consider, and this used to be really hard, and I still struggle with this because I have some portable radios with NiCad batteries. All right, so if you just drop the radio in a charger and it sits there for 2 weeks, you've really done a lot of harm to that battery and shortened its life drastically. And then when it's time to use that radio, instead of it being able to operate for 8, 10, 12 hours, you get maybe 2. And that's if you're monitoring. If you transmit with it, the battery fades fast. So NiCad batteries are always challenging to keep them in a prime operating condition. But modern radios with lithium-ion batteries are so much easier to deal with because now the battery has a chip built into it with a charge controlling circuit that will monitor its charge rate. And as long as it's sitting in a charger, if it doesn't need to be charged, it's not getting charged. And as that battery self-depletes over time, once that charge control chip sees that, okay, my battery voltage has fallen to, 70% or 60%, whatever it might be, it'll go ahead and allow the charger to go back and recharge that battery. So the lithium-ion batteries that are available today are just miles and miles ahead better in terms of being able to keep them topped off and ready at a moment's notice. Whereas the old NiCad batteries were definitely a lot more work to keep the maintenance and keep that battery topped off and ready at a moment's notice. So something to pay attention to, and if you're in that mode that you want to have that plan, don't forget the maintenance. Don't forget to stay on top of the equipment. So in my application, the worst thing you can do is give me a radio with a NiCad battery, because I'm going to drop it on the charger and it's going to sit there.
Yep.
Until I'm terrible with NiCad batteries. So
there was this one time you dropped another radio somewhere else and it sat there. And that one did have a lithium-ion battery, but
that was a Go box, was it not?
So that was definition also of a Go box radio.
It's a different Go box.
One of those big blue plastic ones.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so there was the occasion when I left a radio in a Porta-John. Let me break. And it just so happens that Jeff found the radio, and I had already left the area, so Jeff recovered the radio, and he enjoyed the next 30 to 60 minutes on the air, sharing with the North Georgia community of the fact that I had left my radio in the go box.
Well, and hasn't he reprogrammed your startup screen?
It says Justin leaves me everywhere. I only left it into one place, but everywhere works. So, all right.
Too funny.
That was very good. All right, Dana, well, thank you for all of that. Let's see, we've got a list of in and outs here, about 10 or so of them, and then we've got half a dozen or more YouTube check-ins. So let's go through this list in rapid fire. We have Gainesville 44 Joe in Cleveland, in and out. Have Atlanta 557 Ed in Kennesaw is in and out. We have Atlanta 280 Lewis in Grovetown is in and out. I think he's a first-time check-in. Glad to have you with us tonight.
Yes.
We have Atlanta 770 James in Ackworth is in and out. Is he also a first-time check-in?
I don't know.
I don't recall if he is, but he's relatively new. Glad to have you along. We have Chattanooga 206 John in Danbridge is in and out. We have Chattanooga 110 Jim in Ringgold is in and out. Atlanta 825 Don in Canton is in and out. We have Atlanta 849 Pamela in Duluth is in and out, as well as Atlanta 848 Ernest in Duluth in and out. The next check-ins are all YouTube check-ins. We have Atlanta 355 Damon in Canton. We have Atlanta 420 William in Roswell. We have a guest check-in from WRZY 312 Ron from Locust Grove. We have Chattanooga 69 Ronnie in Las Vegas. We have a brand new member, Atlanta 60 Gary in Noonan. We have another guest check-in, WRWB 802 Larry in Colorado is a YouTube check-in. I think Larry's been with us for a few weeks now. And we have Rome 27 Terry in Menlo, also a YouTube check-in. Who's next?
Well, that'll bring us to Atlanta 419, who I don't know if he intended to be in and out, but let's give him a try.
I believe that was mismarked as a YouTube check-in.
419?
Yeah, I think so.
It shows as a Zello check-in.
Yeah, but he's right there.
Oh. Oh, he did. He just checked out. Okay. All right, let's keep going.
All right, we have determined that, was that Jason?
Jason, yeah.
Atlanta 419 was an in and out check-in, and we're going to continue on with Atlanta 964 Richard in Duluth. Richard, do you have a go box? Do you have plans on building one or buying one?
Well, I do have a sort of a go box. I've got a battery box that I built with two 25 amp lithium iron phosphate batteries inside. It does give me 4 power pole outputs and a cigarette lighter output, as well as a fast USB charge out. It can be charged from solar or shore power. I can use that to power some standalone radios that I have in not necessarily a box, but I have a few Harbor Freight bags that have different radio kits in them. I have a Kenwood with accessories for a GMRS, and I've got a number of ham radio go bags that are range anywhere from 100 watts down to ultra portable at 5 watts that weigh a total of 2 pounds. So hopefully I have my bases covered there. Back to net, WRMA 965, Atlanta 964.
Very good stuff. And yeah, having the battery pack gives you a lot of portability, because at that point you can pull a mobile radio out of your vehicle and take it with you, power it from the battery pack. You can just have a mobile radio that's configured to operate with that, hopefully with power leads that are pre-terminated for the power poles. Lots of potential there with just having. I mean, that's the big variable, is when you're talking about something other than an HT, is how you're going to power it. So if you've got that problem solved, then that's a big part of getting to, an emergency setup radio station or a portable setup radio station that you can operate from base camp, in the woods, when you're out camping. If you're out boating, you can throw that in a boat and get power to it pretty quickly. Lots of opportunities there. So power, I think, is probably the big variable, and those LiFePO batteries, they're lightweight and they're energy dense.
Yep.
So that's a great choice for that portable environment. So good stuff. All right, where are we at? I've lost my place again already.
You do that a lot.
Yeah. So that doesn't make sense.
We're ready for Atlanta 810.
There it is. Atlanta 810. He was in and out, but he thought he might be back. So let's see if John's at a place where he can come on the air. He may be. I don't know. He's got a whole pack of kids over there. So
it's true.
The wolf
pack.
So who knows what he's in the middle of at the moment. John, are you available? All right, John was listed as in and out. We're going to keep it that way. We're going to continue on with Atlanta 811 Victoria in Dawsonville. Also in and out. Atlanta 810.5. John, Little John in Dawsonville is in and out. In Atlanta 810 decimal, at least for now, decimal 6. Thomas in Dawsonville is in and out. Noonan 345. Timothy in Sonoya is in and out, as well as Atlanta 1140 Troy in Covington, in and out. And that'll bring us to Noonan 120 Carmine in Fayetteville. Now Carmine has built a base station, and nothing but the finest. He's got a great antenna. He's got great coax. He's taken care to build a very high quality base radio station. So Carmine, have you put together an equally high quality portable radio system with a Go box or an ammo can?
No, Justin, I haven't. I got 2 handheld Ocean radios with extra batteries, lithium ion. Mine lasts about 30 hours on standby if you don't talk. But no, I have thoughts about doing it here in the future. But as of right now, no, I haven't built one yet.
Well, Carmine, tell me, is it true that when you take the battery out of those radios and hold that up to your ear, can you hear the ocean?
No, I hear the subway, but not the ocean. Mine are good. They're not, like I said, the history behind mine. Mine don't do zip from the house because of the 12-mile buffer where I live in Repeater, plus the Piedmont Fayette Hospital and the power station. So that's why when I built, decided if I'm going to take this up for a hobby, I don't have to build a good base station. And that's what I did. I followed some good advice from the people on the network, Dana, Ronnie, Jason. They pushed me off in the right direction, and at the time, when I needed to, I had the money to build it all, to get it all in one shot. I was very fortunate, and that's what I did, as you know.
Well, take some pride in having built a quality radio station for your base operation there. So that station sounds great every time you come on the air. All right, well, with that, we're going to continue on. I got a list of, it's a mix of YouTube and in and outs. I've got Cades Cove 70 Dwight in Tallahassee. Did I say it right?
You got it.
Was a YouTube check-in. I've got Columbus 25. Peter in West Point was an in and out check-in. I've got a guest from WRZG 964 Rick in Woodstock is a YouTube check-in. I've got Blue Ridge 64 Melissa from Blue Ridge is a YouTube check-in. I can't even say Blue Ridge. Roosevelt 11 Bob in Kingston is in and out. Rome 12 Mark in Rome, also in and out. Roosevelt 81 Renee in Rockwood is a YouTube check-in. Atlanta 589 Don in Kennesaw is in and out. Atlanta 170 Dalton in Cartersville, also in and out. WSCT 633 Tom in Toccoa is a YouTube check-in, as well as WSAC 928 Chase in Jasper County, also a YouTube check-in. That'll bring us to Atlanta 532 Tom in Flowery Branch, in and out. And finally, Atlanta 943 Jim in Monroe. Jim, do you have a Go Box or a portable rig that you like to operate?
Hey, thank you for this, for this topic. I do not. I do have a bug out bag, but I don't have a Go Box or a Manpack. So I think I'm gonna take your advice and do the DIY on it and configure something. But I do have two questions, of which some people who have already talked have kind of talked about briefly. But I'm gonna cut out here for a second. So my two questions are: does anybody use like their Go Bag or their Manpack or their Go Box with their vehicle? In that they kind of have a box that goes in their vehicle, and then if they need to go out and travel somewhere for emergencies or just traveling out in the woods, they just have something that they just discharge from their vehicle and they carry it out. That's one question. I'm going to break. Second question is, Dana talked about this, Atlanta 250, about, basically if stuff hits the fan, about emergencies. I think that's an important thing to have, to plan for, and I didn't know what people were doing in relation to these types of devices in relation to planning like that. Dana had something different, but are there other ideas that people are using in relation to doing something like that and being prepared?
Yeah, we're kind of diving off into rabbit hole land here, but having a plan is very, very important. So like if you don't have a plan, then you've already failed, whatever the event might be.
That's
so
right.
if we have an event that power is out, if we have an event that your city water is off, if we have an event that your internet is down for a period of time and you don't have a plan, then you're just stuck and you're going to deal with whatever comes. So having a plan and having some contingency for some of these circumstances is very important. We recently had an evening where it was time for the net, and we had internet problems that really seemed like were going to take a long time to get resolved. So our plan was to fall back and operate on radio, and so we held a net that night. We were not able to live stream, but we did conduct the net anyway over the air with RF, and it was successful. We had a good time doing it. We were able to accomplish the goal, the primary objective, and secondary objectives, which were the live streaming, had to be set aside. But that was the plan, and that was our contingency in that circumstance. So having a plan is a great place to start. And that plan can be revised over time. So right off the bat, that plan might be a couple of HTs in the Go Bag, and it may be no more complicated than that. You just have to remember to keep those batteries charged periodically. And if you do that, and even use those radios from time to time to be sure that they remain operational, then you're prepared. And then as your circumstances change and your capabilities change and your opportunities change, you may need to change that plan and maybe upgrade from those HTs to an ammo can configured Go box, or maybe even buy one of the commercially made of varieties, or the Pelican case. The Apache case from Harbor Freight is a great way to outfit a radio. Let me break. But I think that's the first place to start, is consider what may come and how would you deal with it. So if what may come is a situation that you're going to require external resources, and communications could be vital. If you're in a situation where you're very self-reliant, maybe you want to limit those communications so that you don't draw attention to yourself. There's just and if that's the plan, is to not draw attention to yourself and try to keep a low profile, and maybe monitor the radio but don't talk on it, find out what's going on around you, and limit your time on the air so that you don't become a target because of it.
Yeah.
These are all things that you need to figure out how they're going to work for yourself in your circumstance. So
in addition to the equipment plan, the HTs, having the batteries charged, is also the communication plan. Who are you going to talk to? Right? If you have the best radio gear in the world, but no one to talk to, or you're not sure what frequency to call out on, or what channel to call out on,
and that's a
how good is it?
That's a great segue into the Friday Night at 9 Simplex Challenge.
You read my mind.
Having a communications plan that includes specific individuals that you will communicate with, and as Atlanta 250 had mentioned, his plan is to make sure his neighbors are equipped and capable of communicating so that they can watch out for one another.
Yep.
That's a brilliant idea, because next door, across the street, down the road a ways, those are the people that can be your eyes and ears when you can't, and vice versa. And if there's something going on in your little corner of the world that requires a heightened state of alertness, it's great to have those extra eyes and ears rather than be in your own little world and get surprised by a knock at the door or something else. So,
yep, great points.
Make a plan. I think that's the key here. Did you have anything else?
Yeah, I think, with that plan, communication and how you communicate, because I think sometimes if stuff happens, you want to be able to communicate in a way that doesn't, that kind of protects your interests. The other thing, one other comment I wanted to make was about your lithium-ion batteries. They are good, they are light, but they can overheat if it's really hot, and if it's really cold, they don't function very well. So just be mindful of that. But other people mentioned different batteries, so that's great as well. That was my last comment. Thank you.
Yeah, the LifePo batteries are great. They're just more expensive than I'm really, for what they offer in capability versus what they cost. When you scale that back against what you can get out of a lithium-ion battery versus what it costs, it's just, I don't know that it's worth the extra for the LifePo batteries. They're going to be easier to transport because they're very lightweight and they have a tremendous energy density, but the cost factor is there too. So it may be, even though you're going to carry more weight, carrying around some lithium-ion batteries might end up being a good solution. And like the DeWalt batteries, I don't even know how many chargers I have. I think I have 5 chargers now for the DeWalt batteries. So with the various tools that I've acquired along the way, a lot of them come with batteries. And so it's really easy to have chargers in various places. So it's really easy to keep those batteries charged. And as we talked about before with lithium-ion batteries, with the charge controller circuitry kind of built into the battery, finally we're at a place in the world where we can just drop a battery into a charger and leave it there for a week or two. Yeah. And not worry about the battery getting cooked or ruined or anything of that nature. So it'll be fine when you come back to it. And you're right, there are some issues with the lithium-ion batteries overheating, and in the cold weather they can underperform. But I'll tell you, my DeWalt batteries, they don't seem to care. They work when it's cold, they work when it's hot, they just work. And even my older batteries that have had a lot of cycles on them are still pretty impressive in their performance. It's the knockoff batteries that are disappointing. So, there's one thing to consider is maybe I don't want to spend the money I need to for a LiFePO battery, but I probably ought to spend the money for quality lithium-ion batteries, because that's one area when you go cheap, it matters. I have some of those cheap knockoff batteries, and they're nowhere near the performance that a brand name DeWalt battery would be. And I'm sure the same is true with Milwaukee or with Ryobi or really any of those cordless battery sets. So if you're going to use those cordless battery options for powering a radio, you do need a DC to DC buck converter to make sure you properly regulate the voltage going into. I don't think it's a good idea to power a mobile radio with 20 volts. There could be some radios that are rated to handle that. I don't really know. I've not looked, but I think it's still best to give it something that looks like automotive 14 volt voltage rather than 18 or 20 volts. So, all right, with that, let's continue on the list. We've got got another mix of in and outs and some YouTubes here. We've got Noonan 483 Randy in Sonoya. Did I already call that?
No.
I'm having a deja vu moment.
I just checked it.
Okay. We have Roosevelt 83 Bill in Rockwood is a YouTube check-in.
But you should break real quick.
Let's break. I'm told there's timeout timers. I don't know what that means, but I'm told that they exist.
Yeah, we know.
We have Atlanta 263 Rogers in Dunwoody is in and out. We have Atlanta 256.1 Holly is a YouTube check-in tonight. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight. Everybody wave hi to Holly.
Hi, Holly.
She does like watching TV.
Oh, very good. There's nothing on, so may as well watch us. Chattanooga 49 Robert in Dalton is in and out, as well as Atlanta 120 Jason in Marietta in and out. And that'll bring us to Atlanta 780 Houston in Austell. I'll bet Houston has built some portable operating radio stations out of Apache boxes and ammo cans and 5-gallon buckets and probably some Tupperware bowls.
Hi, good evening, Net Control. Yes, sir, you're right. I did not know what the topic was before I checked in, but I can comment on this. I do have 2 ammo boxes. Both of them have TK880s in them. I think one of them's 30 or 25 watt, the other one's 50. They've also got antennas and handhelds, and I think I've got NiCad batteries in one and lithium-ion batteries in the other, and I've got power supplies in both of them where they can be used with power. And I probably never will use them because I'm kind of in Dana's position that if something happens, I'm probably not going to leave here.
Well, but for you, it's more the joy of putting it together and making it work. I know that you like to tinker with radios and bring old broken radios back to life, and I know that you enjoy programming radios, and I think it's just the joy of having created something, and I can just very well see you working on a project of that nature, and it's kind of fun to just nickel and dime your way through it and try this part and try that one. And I would be willing to bet that after you built the first ammo can, you probably sat back and looked at it and thought, I think I can do a little bit better. And that's why the second one came to be. Is that about right?
Yes, sir. You know me too well. Yeah, it is, and I think the second one's the one that wound up with a TK880 and a small QYT UHF VHF radio in it, along with the handhelds and, of course, the homemade turnbuckle antenna. I believe I got one of those in each box, but yeah, you know me too well, Justin.
Well, very cool stuff, and yeah, if you're wanting to tinker on a radio and you need some help, Houston is a great resource. You can catch him on the air a lot of times, and you know, even if you can't catch him at any particular moment, just keep trying. You'll get him eventually, and he can help you out with technical issues, with sources. If you don't know where to get an ammo can, or you don't know where to get a power supply, or you don't know where to buy the batteries, Houston's got the information that you'll want, and he can clue you in on parts and pieces that you might not be able to find. So he's a wonderful resource that the network has, and I know that he very much enjoys helping folks bring radios to life. So definitely don't hesitate to reach out to Houston if you have questions or need some help with the project. Did you have anything else for us, Houston?
No, I think that's about it, Justin. Also, it's good to have a backup system at your house if you're going to think about staying there. Also, I've got two 100-amp lithium-ion batteries here that's hooked up in parallel that will run the radios probably for about a week without charging or more. But that's another good thing to look into. But with that, I'll turn it back over to you.
Very good stuff. Well, thanks for hanging out with us tonight, Houston. It's always great to hear from you. And let's see, we got a big old list of YouTube check-ins here right at the end. So we've got McDonough 30. William in Hampton is a YouTube check-in, and we've got a couple of radio check-ins from Atlanta 255. Jennifer in Dawsonville is in and out, and we have a first-time check-in from Chattanooga 89. Jimmy in Dunlap is in and out. The rest of these are YouTube. We have Atlanta 307 Jonathan incoming is a YouTube check-in. Atlanta 11 John in Canton, also a YouTube check-in. Chattanooga 96 Jeffrey in Tennessee is a YouTube check-in. We've got WSDA 207 Kathy in Jackson checking in with YouTube. Atlanta 506 Daniel in Ackworth is a YouTube check-in. Dallas 64 Josh in Dallas is a YouTube check-in. Atlanta 419 Jason incoming is a YouTube check-in. Chattanooga 204 Steve in Ringgold is a YouTube check-in. Atlanta 900 Keith in Smyrna is a YouTube check-in. And Gainesville 55 Robert in Gainesville, another YouTube check-in. That is the end of our roster at this time. So at this time, we're going to continue on with the program. We'll continue taking check-ins from anyone, anywhere, using any repeater. And any questions or comments, the floor is open. Net Control, standing by.
Atlanta 250 with a comment.
Mm-hmm. That'll be A-okay.
All right, no additional check-ins and a comment from Atlanta 250. So let's go straight to Dana and go ahead. You have the floor.
Well, thank you, Justin. This is just a comment that goes to Atlanta 557's questions. About the different different setups. His questions are an excellent topic for tomorrow night's net that we're having. So, Ed, if you're still monitoring, just write those down. They were excellent questions, and it'll be good for some learning for tomorrow night.
I don't think that was Ed.
It wasn't.
That was Atlanta 943 Jim.
All right. There's some discussion in here as to whether it was Ed or Jim or who that might have been.
I think the questions that he was responding to when I saw Dana's comment on YouTube was Atlanta 943 Jim from Monroe. He'd asked about portable Manpacks, Go Boxes in vehicles, and
yeah, I believe that to be true because Ed was in and out, so Ed didn't ask any questions.
So there was a comment about, you know, I guess maybe taking a mobile radio from your vehicle and converting that maybe sort of on the fly to a Go Box, and I just don't know. I mean, there's just enough tinkering and fidgeting with getting a radio mounted in a vehicle and dismounting that radio. You're going to have to mess with the mount itself. You're going to have to mess with the coax. You're going to have to mess with the power. You may or may not need to mess with the antenna connection, or I'm sorry, the microphone connection. So, you know, there's a certain amount of fidgeting, fussing to get that out of the vehicle into a Go Box, and then back again. So I guess maybe the more simple way of doing that is, can you just park an ammo can on the floor in the passenger seat and pull the microphone up to where you can reach it and stick a mag mount on the roof of the car? That seems like it would be perfectly functional.
The opposite way.
Maybe you could charge the battery in the Go Box from the cigarette lighter. If there's a battery in the Go Box and you're drawing power from the cigarette lighter at the same time, you're probably not going to overload that lighter circuit. That cigarette lighter circuit is typically capable of about 10 amps, 100-ish watts. So consider that your 50-watt radio is probably drawing somewhere in the neighborhood of 120 or 150 watts of power to make that 50 watts of RF. So you're right on the edge of what that cigarette lighter can do in terms of power out of a 50-watt mobile radio. So if you are drawing power off the cigarette lighter, you might consider operating at medium or low power to keep from popping that fuse. But yeah, I think, you know, once upon a time, back in my truck driving days, most of the trucks came with a DIN-sized mount that you could quickly slip a radio into, and they all had a connector on them that was common to whatever brand of truck that was, but it was never common to the radio. And I always thought, wouldn't it be cool if you had 2 DIN slots in a truck, and one would be pre-configured with a standard pinout so that you could buy a radio that had a matching standard pinout, that you could shove that radio into that DIN slot like it was like a circuit card in the back of a computer. Just push it in and it latches in place, and when you get out of the truck, you can just push in a little bit and let it kind of pop back out, and you can pull it out like an 8-track tape back in the day.
Like a what?
It was before your time there, youngin. There's a few of us out here that know what those are.
Well,
But
I know what they are.
But I think wouldn't it have been cool if you have the same kind of arrangement with a second DIN slot that was configured for a CB? Back in the trucking days, you know, CB radios were ubiquitous. They were everywhere, and I ran 2 CB radios in the truck most of the time. You know, the one that you would monitor, and then the other one that you would actually use. But in some situations, you're in and out of different trucks, and you may not be assigned a truck that's permanent to you. So if you're going to be jumping from one truck to another, wouldn't it be cool if you could just grab your radio and pop it out of the dash and stuff it in your bag, and when you come back to work the next day, you pull the radio out and you stuff it into the into the slot in the dash, and now you've got your radio again. So let me break. I think there was an opportunity in not only in the trucking industry, but in automotive as a whole, because automotive has really gone completely a different way. Even though the radio is still built around a DIN slot or a double DIN slot, the faceplate has been incorporated into the dash in such a way that it's just not, you just don't go out and buy the Alpine or the Kenwood or the Crutchfield Special, whatever it might be, radio and shove it into your dash like you once could. It really does need to be a factory specific radio for whatever vehicle you're in. And so that really takes, from the consumer side of things, it really takes away a lot of options. So I kind of wish that were more of a thing or had turned into a thing, but you know, things like automotive design is highly driven by consumer demand, and I think from what you see in cars today, consumers don't want to see fasteners. They don't want to see connectors. They don't want to see any of the things that happen underneath the dash. They want smooth, clean, even surfaces, and you know, and that's what cars are these days.
Touch screens.
They're hard to make installs in, especially if you're not allowed to drill any holes. But I know a guy.
He's still staying quiet.
Yeah. So all right then, that's all I have. And Dana, did you have anything to add?
No, sir, and I do believe you're correct. It was 943. I don't know why I was thinking 557, but yeah, if he can tune into the ball ground tomorrow night, that would be excellent discussion to have for sure.
Very good. Well, Dana, while I've got you on the air, let's talk about what's going to happen tomorrow night. So there's a Simplex challenge. Let's talk a little bit about what that is and how that works.
Well, yeah, it will be the Friday night at 9 Simplex Challenge as usual, starting early check-ins at 8 p.m. At about 8:30 p.m., we'll kick it off with a roundtable discussion, which will go in order of check-ins. And we're just going to discuss emergency comms. What is your radio plan? And a lot of it was discussed tonight, and I think it was a great tip-off for tomorrow night's exercise. But it'll be a discussion of all emergency comms. What is your plan? Everybody has the plan that fits their individuality and their family and such. And I'll just add a note to my what I added tonight was with the Go Box. Mine is designed for simplex only. It's close communications. It's not to hit repeaters. Being I'm not going anywhere, my I apologize. Timed out. Being I'm not going anywhere, my radio setup here is going to be where I communicate from, any great distance. So, but that is it for the tomorrow night at the Friday night at 9 Simplex Challenge.
Excellent. All right, well, Dana, thank you for all of that. And with that, we're going to go ahead and wrap things up for tonight. So this will conclude the North Georgia GMRS Regional Net. Tonight we had a total of
77
chickens tonight. Net Control will now be returning the repeaters back to normal use. Everyone who signed in should sign out. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and remember, comments on the YouTube videos show engagement with the video and help the channel grow. Thank you for allowing us to serve as your net control this evening. Good night, everyone. This is Atlanta 946, WQYR 514. My name is Justin.
And this is WRWM 344, Blue Ridge 63. My name is Mike.
And Atlanta 750, WRMR 367. My name is Jeff.
Oh, look who showed up.
I've been here the whole time.
Yeah.
You only notice when I'm not here if my job doesn't get done.
So we are North Georgia GMRS Network.
And we are clear.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone.